What's happening, everybody? It is your boy Trev. Okay, so this is our JURIS chart, and I want to look at it and talk about a couple things real quick. So, this is my regression tool. I love this tool, and I've talked to you about it before. The way I kind of read it, and it's you can almost use it as like kind of a cheat sheet to know where you're at and maybe what you should be doing at any particular time. First thing that I want to point out is that this regression tool is still on an upward climb, okay? Still bullish momentum even after all this time. And it's been pretty consistent. Since this thing actually took off, it has consistently gone up, 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 right? Higher highs, higher lows. We're doing okay. However, everything right now, particularly meme coins, are down. I don't know, 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago, whatever it is, Donald Trump launched and announced from his official account, launched his own meme coin. And it's like a black hole. It's just sucking everybody in. And I'm seeing, a lot of things dipping and that skyrocketing, which common sense tells me that people are selling out of almost everything that they have to jump into this Trump coin. That's going to go on for a little while, right? That's going to go, who knows how long it'll go on. It might go on. It might be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing as far as the inauguration goes. And it might run up until then. And then after inauguration, it'll dive back down. People will start getting into other things. It's not going to last forever. Everybody realizes that they need to be diversified. I don't think anybody is going to say, okay, well then all I'm going to own is Trump coin for the rest of my life and screw everything else. But it's the new shiny thing. It's a very shiny thing because it's Trump. And so everybody is going to jump into it right now, make some quick money, take their profits, get back into other things. I don't know that anybody from JURIS has actually done that. All I'm saying is that I'm seeing across the board with meme coins, I'm seeing them take a huge dip since he made this announcement. All right, so anyway, but I want to say that this continuously keeps going up. And I want to tell you, if you haven't heard before, I want to tell you how I read this, okay? This regression tool, I look at it in 4 different parts, actually. You see 2 different colors, red on the bottom, blue on the top, but you need to look outside of that too, because you see that sometimes it does get outside of that range. So the way I read that, anything outside of the range to the low side, to the below it, if you have any spare powder at all, you better grab it. Understand that what this does is it averages things out, makes an average line. That middle line, right, the dotted line, that is the average price over that time period from the beginning of end to the end of the regression tool, right? So on average, it is telling you that if it dips below, and you can see it is not dipped below that many times through that average, right? Once, twice. I mean, obviously we can go back to the beginning, but I started it when it pretty much started moving, right? So you can even count this if you want. It started below it, then went crazy, and it has only gone back below it twice. If you have spare powder, that is the time that you have to grab it. It is highly not improbable, but it's just not likely at all that it goes that low. So when it does, if you have money, grab it, okay? Anything in the red zone itself is buying area. That's a good buying area. And you can see that we've had quite a few times where it's dipped down and you've had some really good buying opportunities. But the average is right here. So currently we are definitely, and we have been, this is a daily chart. So for the last couple of weeks or whatever, we've been in a really good accumulation zone for JURIS token. This is the buying area. The blue area, I call that, you can take your choice, right? That's your hold area or your DCA, your dollar cost average in area. Because if you have confidence in a project, which when you look at a chart like this and you look at that regression tool continually going up, that's something that gives you a lot of confidence that it's going to continue along that path. So blue area is a good place if you still want to just keep adding, where you can dollar cost average in, right? Or you can hold and wait for it to come back down into the red area. Above the chart, and you can see we've only come above it a couple of times. If you're going to sell and take profits, and I always recommend you selling and take profits, looking at this regression tool, those are the spots to do it. Because on average, it's going to travel within that path. So if it goes above that, a lot of times if you want to sell on the high and then buy back in when it comes lower, those spots show you some really good areas where you could have done that. If you had bought in either one of these spots, if you had sold here, you could have bought back anywhere in here and gained some back, right? You would have put the same money in and you would have got more juris for it. Same thing here. If you had sold when it came up here, you could have bought anywhere from that point on and you would have gained more for the money. All right. That's how I read this. So right now we are absolutely in a really, really good buying zone. Is anybody going to buy this right now when you got the Trump thing going crazy? Right. I don't know. Okay. But if you're committed to this project, which I know a lot of us really are, it's a really, really good time to get some. Now, I put out a tweet yesterday. We're talking about development. Development is happening. We've got 2 guys working on it, right? They're really, really good. But there's only 24 hours in a day, and nobody is strapped to their computer just, drinking coffee, having to, just do this constantly. Life happens, right? And when you've got only 2 guys doing it, you're not going to have somebody working on it 24/7. When you've got a team of 10, well, there might be 2 guys working on it from this time to that time, and then they're in different time zones. So they go to sleep, and you got other people working on it, and you have a continual kind of, progress, right? But with 2 guys, it's just not going to happen as fast as any of us would love it to happen. Know that they are working diligently as often as they can, when they can, right? Life, you got to eat, you got to go to the bathroom, you got to sleep, you got to see your family, right? In the case of our co-dev, he also has a full-time job, right? So, yesterday I mentioned that a really big element of this, something that we've been waiting for, a lot of you have been waiting for, you can figure out, I'm sure, what it is done. The code is written, everything is done. It was put into testnet, being tested, right? Some issues were found. That's the purpose of testnet. When you hear a tweet, read a tweet like that, or you hear that information, that's not cause to panic because, oh no, right? That happens in every single project. That's why you have testnet. It's to put it in, to operate it, to work it, and see, okay, what can we make better? What can we change? What didn't quite work out the way we thought it was going to work out? That's what it's for, all right? It's not a big deal at all. So it went into testnet. Issues were found, and so now it's the time frame thing. There's no getting around that, and that's just being honest. The time frame thing. You got to find time where both of these guys who don't live side by side, or maybe even in the same time zone, I'm not sure, right? Have got to both have the time to get together and say, okay, this is what happened, this is my findings, whatever. How do we get around that? How do we fix it? Whatever it is that they got to do their dev thing, right? It's just finding the time to do it, to get together and do it. I thought I saw something about Monday. That's not saying that something might not happen. Matter of fact, since I put that tweet out, there was a big message that was sent in the dev chat about the issue, right? Frag had sent some information, and hopefully our co-dev, if he has time this weekend, I don't run these guys' schedules, right? But if he has time this weekend, he'll see that stuff, and maybe that was the information that he needed to plug in whatever parameters he needs to plug in to get the thing fixed. Everything is on schedule. Everything is going really, really well. Remember that LL said, we all hoped for it to be faster, and we were hoping Q1, but very early on, he recognized, LL, how big this thing is, how huge it is, speaking to the guys and getting some sort of legitimate time frame, right? And then maybe even adding a little bit to it so nobody's disappointed because we know how you are. He's talking about Q2. I don't see any reason, as long as we don't have a lot of other issues come up, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to stick to that. Now, would it be nice to have it sooner? Of course it would. So many things are moving right now. Inauguration day for Trump is on Monday, and they have just been talking continually about all the things that they're going to be doing for crypto. They want America to lead crypto, and America leads a lot, right? That's not an arrogance. That's just the way it is. I've asked people, my friends here in crypto, who are all over the world, I've asked them, listen, America thinks that we run everything and everybody follows what we do. Is that really true? And a lot of them have told me, actually, yeah, to a large degree. What America does, everybody else kind of follows. So, strategic Bitcoin reserve, a crypto czar, a whole committee on crypto, on how to make it safe for us, for the traders, for the investors, sensible regulations. These are the things that they're going to be doing, but leading the crypto industry, leading AI, leading all these things. We're moving into the era that we've dreamed about here in crypto. We're moving into it fast. And so you want to be able to ride that wave. Juris is going to come in Q2-ish, right? If we stay on schedule. And some people might think, well, you know what? Everything's going crazy and moving right now. We got to get in right now. This is just my opinion, not financial advice. I have no crystal ball. But reading the tea leaves and kind of looking at the way things are playing out, I think we're going to have a big 2025, right? I think we're going to have a really big 2025. These offices that are coming in for crypto, they've got to take place. They have to get established. They have to figure out what they're doing, how they're doing it. I'm sure they've already started doing some of that. But really, it's one thing to think about it in theory, another thing to actually be there and actually try to get this stuff done. So they need some time to actually get the ball rolling. I'm saying 6 months, right? They should be pretty well on their way, right? Looking at other things in the past, other agencies, and how long it takes them to get going. I think within 6 months, right? But what's that? That's Q2. So we really haven't missed anything at all. So I would say 6 months from now to the end of the year, we're really going to see some crazy things happening. And then in 2026, I think it continues and maybe even amps up even more. So Juris is not going to be late at all. What's happening right now is the hype, it's the fever, and it's beautiful, right? You can get into a bunch of little things, a bunch of little quick hits, make some money, take that money out, right? Take them profits, get into something else. There's going to be a frenzy right now over the next, I would say, 6 months. But you better be settled in 6 months from now to over the next couple of years. Better be settled. So make your quick money now if that's what you're going to do. I don't know, right? But have it, hold it for the stuff that's actually going to take you home. Juris is absolutely going to be one of those things that take you home. I would say if you're holding some right now, Juris isn't one of those things that you really want to let go of and go jump into other things and get back to later, because at the drop of a dime, you see it here in the chart, right? Look at this. Down, 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 sideways a little bit, and then bloop, took off, right? Look at this, sideways a little bit, bloop, took off. We do it all the time. So right now we're in this sideways thing, right? We're moving sideways a little bit. Hold on, let me get where I actually need to go. Yeah, I was showing you this stuff, but I was on the wrong screen. Takes off, comes down, takes off, comes down, takes off. So we're moving sideways a little bit. At any time, it could just take off. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's not a great one to jump out of, to jump into other things. You're going to do whatever you're going to do with your money. And, I encourage you to have a plan and stick to your plan. I would say if all of a sudden this thing jets up and gets out of this regression tool, take some profits. Do whatever you want to do with those profits. You want to put them into something else, or you want to put them into Juris when it comes back down into range, do whatever you want to do. But I am extremely bullish on Juris, right? I love these guys. I'm going to start aggravating these guys. I'll tell you right now, they're going to start getting aggravated with me. Because I'm not on this team or whatever, but I'm going to be cracking a whip. I want to see. I don't know what I want to see. I just want to see. I want to see this thing really, really just starting to take off and development happen. And I know that it's happening, but you don't want anybody to get complacent or lackadaisical. So I got to stay on their ass, and I encourage you all to do the same thing. All right. Anyway, so that is what's going on right now with Juris. Everything's good. Everything's well, and yeah, we're gonna get there, guys. All right. Talk to you soon. Ciao.